Wait, good.
All right, I'll call the meeting to order at 7:01. Present. Chris, Phil, Tracy, Adele, Carrie, and David. I don't see Christine, so we can see Adele for Christine. Can I have a motion? Phil made the motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Dave, second. All in favor?
All right,
Aye.
Okay. Adele is seated for Christine. All right, you want to just get into the budget?
yeah, let me
Chris?
open it up, we'll get right into it.
Let's go through it. See if we missed anything. Did you?
Yeah, he did.
Hi, Karen.
Hi,
All right, can you see it?
Yes.
Perfect. We want to run through from the top?
Yeah, I think it's worth running through from the top. Just make sure we didn't miss any those. So we decided 550 for capital.
Right, that's what we talked about. We can get to that when we get to that capital screen.
All right.
Did I have one missed there?
Uh,
So did I miss one on that?
seasonal wages. Oh, that was the. Do you want to fill that in or leave it?
Leave it. We can decide. I mean, we can have that debate right now. We got Lou here right now. Might as well, let's bring him into the fold.
So we decided on that.
Let's make a decision.
what do you want to make a decision on?
On the seasonal wages position on the highway department line item here.
I think it's unnecessary.
Well, we got Lou here. Lou, are you heartbroken if you don't get it?
Well, no, but I'm tell you, we're doing more and more throughout town. We've had one guy over the beach for, I think we're going on 3 weeks, and that affects our other work. You know, there's other work that's not getting done because we're doing more and more on other areas in town. So the summer help would definitely help in the summer with all this other stuff, but is it going to be the end of the world? No.
Well, how about the guy that does the maintenance, the mowing and everything around the town? How much would he cost to just do a couple of hours or something extra a week? How much would that cost?
Over the beach? He was charging what, $10,000-15,000, Tom?
About $10,000.
About 10,000, Tracy says.
That's what I thought.
Yeah,
So
for the
that
whole
we-
thing, for the whole thing, for everything. If you added that, I'm just asking. I see that guy on his cell phone a lot, just by pure coincidence, but that doesn't matter. Yeah, it's a lot.
How many hours a week are you talking about, Lou?
I think it was, what, 20 hours a week, if I remember right? It's been a while since 15. It's been a while since I put the budget together.
And he's part-time, so he wouldn't be part of the union. He just comes
No,
in the summer.
That
job.
wouldn't be, yep, it'd be just summer help.
Oh, yeah.
Wouldn't be
60,
part of
yeah.
the union and no benefits and
20 an hour?
So Louis, how many weeks is that? It's a total of like 10 weeks, is that it?
can you pull that up again, Chris?
Weeks.
16
Yeah,
hours for
20 weeks.
20 weeks, $16. $6,400 to me is not a lot of money as part of the budget. I'm in favor of putting somebody on for $6,400 to have the highway department doing what they're supposed to be doing, not out doing other things that won't allow them the opportunity to get the work that needs to be done at the Department of Public Works.
Actually, Dave, you took the words right out of my mouth. I also am in favor of the part-time help.
What are
Okay.
you doing, Lou? Are they using our equipment?
I can't hear you.
So they're using our equipment.
Oh, I'm.
Yes, oh yeah, yep. Yeah, it'd be a town employee.
They're just mowing at $20 an hour with our equipment.
Mowing, help patching or whatever we need them for that day.
Now, last summer, you had your staff rebuilding that cabin.
And
On
we're
Beach
still
Rec.
rebuilding that.
Mm,
I had to
So-
tell Kristen today, we're not gonna do the interior because we don't have time. They wanted to do the interior and I said, it's not gonna happen. You know, we're too busy. May 10th, we're starting a big drainage job and I need all my guys on that.
okay, good.
Maybe
And
we get a
you're-
rainy day or so, we could get somebody on there once in a while throughout the summer, but it's not gonna be on the time frame they wanted it.
And how many times a week do you mow Beach and Rec?
In a rainy season, you gotta mow it twice a week.
So in the
Last-
summer,
What's that?
no, sometimes you cannot mow if it's so dry.
Well, you usually have to mow it at least once a week, but when he's not doing that, he'll be out mowing roadsides.
hmm
And then the full-time guys will be out doing drainage and fixing basins and whatever else we need to do.
I mean, you're talking $20 an hour for somebody to.
Yeah, it is pricey. $20 an hour to mow lawns is pricey for a part-time helper.
And being a dirt jockey on the road crew, I mean, that's crazy.
Right.
I think we're being picky. I think we gotta go for it.
I thought, I was under the impression it was strictly just to do the beach and rec.
No, we'll use them in other areas too.
Okay, all right.
Is that a 1099 or W2?
I would, it's up to Tom and Laurel, but I think they would be town employees, so they'd be covered under workers' comp in case they get hurt.
Yeah. Exactly, they'd be W2. Just non-union.
Yeah.
All right, we can certainly come back to it. Or we can have a vote on it.
I have another couple of questions for the highway because I haven't been here for a bit.
Sure, is it in regards to capital? Because we'll hold that till we get to that slide.
Capital, I don't, that steam cleaner thing and the
Pressure
garage,
washer.
is that capital or is that something
Yeah,
else?
yeah, that's in capital. So we'll get to it in just a minute.
Okay.
Let's get through the rest of these.
For the income, you said Chris is on.
Hey, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, Rick, go ahead.
So I actually met again with the tax collector today, and this year we are having a phenomenal year getting taxes in, which means the back taxes and the back interest for next year is gonna be probably on this year's plan, the 75,000 and the 20. We're down to less than, she's predicting at the end of the year, the most, if we collected every back tax, would only add up to about $150,000. So I would say we should drop those to 75 and 20 again. It just, everyone's paying up on their taxes. You just had a big one come in. So I think that 98 is going to be a risk, and the 25 should be 20.
No, are those? You don't have adjusted in there, I mean, are those set and filled in on the master?
Yes, on the total sheet. Yeah, we can check the totals. Should be there.
And we did the beach income?
Yeah, I believe so. Carrie, this was the capital we had gone over last week. And you said you had some questions.
Yeah, I have questions about a few things, but one of the things that I was going to want to bring up was payroll for Beach and Rec. And when you look at it next to somebody who check marks licenses or stickers and checks the beach at the end of a shift, and they're getting $15 an hour, which I think is ridiculous and we should speak about. But here's somebody that needs to deal with heavy equipment. You don't want them falling off. You don't want them, you need a person who knows what they're doing, that has some experience. It's not an entry level position. So
You're talking about? You lost
what
me.
am I talking about?
Yeah, well, who's falling off and heavy equipment? You lost me.
Well, if they're working for Lou, they're dealing with heavy equipment. They're not just mowing lawns, right? I watched them cutting down trees today. That's supposed to be the most dangerous job in America. So there's a lot of stuff. It's not a beginner's job. So, we're considering $15 an hour for someone sitting at a little box. This is a job that Lou is going to use for repairing roads and that kind of stuff. So I just wanted to say that. Okay, now you want the steam cleaner.
Pressure washer, correct?
Yeah. I've had to use those. I had to use professionally, and this seems really expensive.
It's not the one like you use.
I'm sure it's not.
The
What-
propane fired, permanently mounted. This is how we clean the trucks after every storm. So we make them last 20 years.
Is this the same one you talked about last week, Lou? You said it had propane tank and everything and,
Yeah, it's propane fired, correct.
yeah.
I mean, it's not your typical homeowner pressure washer.
No, this was for a
Yeah.
business, but it's not for cleaning fire trucks.
Pardon?
I had a professional one too. But it's not for cleaning a fire truck. It was for
Well, it's
sidewalk.
town trucks, but they could use it for the fire trucks also. But
Okay.
that's how we make the trucks last 20 years is after every storm, we go through them and clean them and wash them, pressure wash them and get all that salt and sand off of them. And, that makes a big difference. You take care of them.
Okay,
I mean, our old one we bought in 1985, it's kind of outlived its usefulness. If money's tight, can we wait a year? Probably, sure, but just figure it's time to replace that if we're financially able to.
okay. And then I have one other question about a new fire truck thing, a new fire truck. And it was mentioned last week, I think it was Christine that said that we went over that when, I think it was when Rob was first fire chief. He said he wanted to refurbish the old one.
We did.
Right. So now why are we talking about buying a new one?
We're not. We're just putting money aside for when the time comes to replace it. That truck, by the time we replace it, will be up towards $1 million, I bet. To replace it right now, you're talking 850,000.
Right.
So it's just time to start sinking some money away so you don't have that big ticket item all in one shot,
Okay, now my one other question, and this, I'm not pointing my finger, I swear. I had just come on the board when there was all the fighting with the fire departments, et cetera. And one of the things that I remember coming up was something about money had started to be put away, I don't know, years ago. And had that money disappeared, or what do I have this wrong?
I don't think it was put away, but someone on the board that's been around would know better.
But
I don't
you
think it was because it's not in your capital
What are you
balance.
talking about? What money, be specific, please? Who's
That-
talking apples and you're talking oranges, Gary? Are you talking about the capital budget?
No, I'm talking about, there was an argument. People said that the fire department had started to put money away for a new fire truck, like Lou's talking about for now, to put it away. And
Fire
then,
department.
what?
You're talking about the fire department putting money away, because who's talking about the town?
Yes, but
The
then,
fire,
go
the
ahead.
fire department does not put money away for capital equipment like that. We just don't have the income. The
Okay,
town buys the fire trucks.
so was it that they had started to put money away with the town?
The town, they requested the town to start doing it, but I don't think they ever did.
Okay, all right.
Great.
All right. So this is the 15-year plan, but this is what we were working on last week, Carrie, because to catch you up, we have about 630,000 we're going to take out of fund balance. And 144 of that, we had made a motion last week to put towards the transfer station so we can finish and pay for the transfer station. Because we also have a grant and we have some money coming back being recovered. That's what's the word? Unassigned, right? That we're capturing back. So we'll be able to finish the transfer station. That leaves about, I had 288 here, but I had the number wrong. So I just want to touch on that real quick. And the reason I had it wrong is because if you take 144 out of the 632, you're left with, closer to 488, and that's where the mistake was. And on the mill rate calculator, this is kind of how we ended the meeting.
Oh, so you put 288 in the transfer.
You can see I had 288 and I should have put 488,
Right.
right? So if I put 488 in, it drops the mill to 24.36 versus 24.95 you're showing.
Even better.
So the question is the capital, and Lou's got a truck that needs to be replacing. And in our capital plan, and this is something I just wanted to go over. In our capital plan, the 15-year, we're looking to fund that truck over 3 years. And I believe we also have the transfer station here, which we can get rid of.
How about the town garage? The repairs?
Yes. What's your
Yeah.
question?
I thought that was done.
No,
No?
this is the second phase of it. We gotta do the roof and get some ventilation and put all new insulation in the roof. There's no ventilation up in that roof area, and it's getting condensation, and it's almost like raining out some days. There's so much condensation up there. So we're gonna put some ventilation up in there and then replace the insulation, and then the garage will be done. This past summer, we did electrical, windows and siding.
So this is this was not part of what we gave you last time. This is new
think-
amount.
I think you only funded half last time, if I don't recall though.
Lou, is the work that goes on down there being professionally hired out to professionals, or are you folks doing it yourselves?
No, we hired it out.
Okay.
That was a little too much for us.
And you're getting bids on them and stuff like that?
Yeah, yeah, we asked for RFPs and all that stuff, so.
So back to Lou, talk about the international. I know you sent me some photos today of it.
Yeah, it's 20 years old. I mean, there's not too many towns that make town trucks last 20 years old. I was been working on specs a little bit, and I talked to the Mack dealer and the bodybuilder, and steel for bodies have gone up 11% in 2 months. Like everything else is going up. So if we ordered that truck as close to July or a little bit before, we would save maybe $15,000 and rather than buy it a year from now. Because everything's just going sky high. The chassis, if we wait till after July, the chassis will probably go up $5,000.
What's the cost?
So how much is the total, Lou?
$225. I think we can buy it for that if we pass a town meeting and this gets approved and we give them a PO before July 1st.
Now, have you checked out aside from Mack, have you looked at the Kenworths or the Freightliners, any of those things? I mean,
We got one Mack and we're happy with it. And that's what we're gonna stick with.
so you're sticking with the Mack, okay.
Yep, internationals aren't the truck they used to be. They're having problems with them. We've had this Mack for 3 years and had one minor problem with it.
Well, that's
Been
a
a
good thing.
Yeah, it's been a good truck.
Yep.
Kenworths
plus.
I like, but the cabs are a little smaller, and for a big guy, it's pretty tight in there if you're sitting in there for 10, 20 hours,
Can you imagine any other board of
Wouldn't be doing that
finance
anyway.
in any other town talking about trucks and everyone understands what we're talking about? Like if they had this at the city of Waterbury, they had no clue what we're talking about.
No.
Right.
And the town is a member of Sourcewell, so that's a national company that bids all kinds of equipment. So we can just jump on that and it's already bid out, and we can just issue a PO and get it on order as soon as everything's approved. We gotta go to the equipment committee yet and, town meeting and all that stuff, of course, but
So if we went to a town meeting on this, instead of putting it in capital, so we take it out of capital. That's 220, so we buy the truck outright. And then that means we're also pulling the truck out of our future plans.
Hey, Chris,
Yeah.
you only have to add 155,000. You already put,
150.
we already put 70,000 away this year.
We did.
You mean last year?
Yeah, yeah, well, I mean, this year, the year we're in now, you guys already put 70,000 towards it. You'd only have to fund the end of it.
Okay, what was the total you said, Rich?
I think it's 155.
And they're coming out next Wednesday. We're gonna work on the specs and kind of finalize things so I can bring it to the equipment committee and I'll have some more up-to-date figures for that. But I think the 2.25 that we originally thought was pretty close.
So that would bring us to basically about 333 we got coming in on a transfer from fund balance. And I'm just gonna plug the numbers just to see where we at. And then we just have to adjust the capital now. So we take 70 out, right? So 470?
At 480, 480.
Rick, you're costing the taxpayers dollars.
I'm just trying to keep it real.
That would put us at a 24.82 mill rate.
What's our collection rate in this?
When you mean collection rate? Oh,
What do we?
yeah. Hold on. A 98.5.
Right.
We want to up that?
I mean, she's not gonna have that much for back taxes. We are under figuring on the revenue side. Where would you want to go? 98.75?
I don't know. Question. You can leave it as is if you want to play it safe.
I mean, I'm comfortable at 98.5.
What's our mill rate right now?
I don't know. Our mill rate now is 25.17. This would drop it to 24.82. How it is. Oh, you know what? Hold on. We got to make sure we have the pensions in here.
And how come the mill rate at the top? Oh, yeah, what were we doing with the,
It's in here. They're both in here. The MDFB pension is closed and they just have a couple of fees they got to clear to close out the account. And it's how they want to get paid, the pensioners. They're going to take lump sum or over time. And the MFC pension plan we have in here, that was the one they presented last week. And that would have to go to town meeting. And as it is now, the truck would go to town meeting as well, Lou. So the taxpayers are going to be the ones voting on that one.
Like I say, I'll have some more accurate figures for you next Wednesday coming
Yeah,
up.
hold on. I just want to jump in the capital and make sure all those numbers are adjusted to right now. It drops our capital down to 474 and we're funding what, 480 we said?
Yes.
I mean, that's a pretty good drop for a mill rate, and I think it's sustainable. The really unsustainable part is our future capital. Because we'd be at 474 again next year. And then it would start to, reduce or hold around those lines. It's good we're getting the truck out of there because that makes it a little more affordable now.
Chris, I think you could take out the extraction unit also, the 20,000. I thought he only needed 20,000. No, no, it's gonna be in this year, not next year. If you're talking about the future.
Yeah,
Correct.
we're looking at future now, right?
no,
Yeah, so the 22, 23, you could take the 20,000 out, but you gotta leave it in this year.
back to where you were, you took it out. Put it back in.
Yeah, put that back, yeah, if you put that back in,
Take it out
And
in
then take-
23.
yeah, take it out of F.
Oh, gotcha. Sorry.
Yeah, no problem.
This goes back to,
So it could be 60 next year, that's okay.
right, drops it, I think, back to a reasonable rate and then goes back up the next year. I mean, it's forward thinking. I think we're cutting the rate and I think we'll be able to hold this rate moving forward.
Go
Who,
back to the rate page, because there was something, no count that was, okay. Up on the top, the mill rate doesn't match the one on the bottom. Why is that?
where, which one? Revenue from taxation?
Right above that, mill rate.
Yeah, hold on, that doesn't match either. That's because this one, the revenue from taxation here and here is different. This equals this. There you go.
The mill count. Is that the correct?
No, because total expenses BOS approved here is wrong too.
You just typed in a number here.
Equals this. All right, so we're back stuck on the last one. Last item we have is summer salaries. For the for the
Transfer fund balance, you got 288.
right here, you're right. Even better.
Okay. Down here, do you want to fix that note? 4888 right there. Let's get rid of that.
Okay, so we're back to the highway department. I mean, we're dropping the mill rate here. It looks like, how many points are we dropping? Almost a half mil. Do we get them summer help or we don't get them summer help?
Excuse me, we can talk about the summer help, but I have quite a few other questions.
Okay, go ahead, Carrie.
Oh, you want me to do that? You don't want to just finish with Lou and then we go back because he doesn't have to,
Sure.
okay.
Anyone ever, anything else for Lou?
Oh, yes, I have one more question. Lou, I don't understand this, so I'm asking this as a person that watched the Zoom meeting and heard discussion. The guard rail at the Smoky Hollow.
Yep.
So you're smiling.
You want the explanation?
I just want to know if,
I'll give you the whole explanation. Only take a minute.
okay,
That was put in 2 or 3 years ago. Last year, was it last year already? Yeah, last year. We reclaimed the whole road. We had to add gravel to parts of the road. That meant the road came up in height and then we paved it. So that means the road came up in height and the guardrail was shorter. It wasn't installed incorrectly. We just had to pick it up because the road height came up because we added more gravel to the road. So the base would be better. It's a couple people making a big to-do out of nothing.
so the only thing I'm nervous about is if there's an accident or
It's
something.
already fixed.
Oh, it's done. So we don't
Yeah.
need any extra. I thought we would need extra money.
No, that's all taken care of.
Oh, well, that's my question for you.
Yep.
Thank
I
you.
gotta see this guardrail. What's the name of the road that guardrail's on, Lou?
Smoky Hollow.
Smoky Hollow.
Oh, the proposed in the long-term capital or the ones we just did?
No, the one you're talking about.
Yeah, Smoky Hollow Road.
Okay,
Is it on like one side of the bridge or both sides or
No, it's only the one side of the road going towards Washington.
towards Washington?
Yeah, the Banham River's on the other side of it. No, Banham? No, not the Banham, just a stream.
I gotta see this.
It's a big dip off there. You gotta have a fence there. It's quite a gully down through there.
Fishing down there.
Not good. You wanna go where they stop, you wanna go on to,
All right, Adele, or, excuse me, Carrie, what other, any other questions for Lou while he's here?
Not for Lou.
Okay. All right, Carrie, what else you got?
Oh, you want me to go through everything, huh?
Unless anyone has any other questions for Lou, so we're not holding him up? Okay, great.
you wanna just do his summer help and get it done?
Yeah, we can discuss. Let's see what else Carrie's got to bring up. Maybe we can tighten this up a little bit. Go ahead, Carrie.
You sure you don't want to just finish with Lou and the summer stuff and then
Sure, okay, ladies, we'll finish with the summer stuff. Let's, get right there. I'll get right over to it.
Thank
Okay,
you.
go ahead. Go ahead.
What?
You want to plug it in for now and see what it does to the mill rate? It does very little to the mill rate.
Take the wood. Okay, what's Carrie's question?
Go ahead, Carrie, let's go through your stuff.
Okay. So since the summer beach and rec, that $15 minimum, that $15 an hour, it really bugs me. It just, it upsets me, even so it's a very small amount of money for starting a kid at $15 minimum wage for doing not a job that's teaching them anything is wrong. And we had 4,500. If Kristen wants to give somebody that much money, then she should take it from her fundraising if she wants to. I just don't think it's right. And nobody, any of the places I did the research of how much they pay people, and they have much more responsibility than they do at this beach and rec. It's not a good idea. Plus one other silly little thing, but for example, at Sandy Beach, when they know there's going to be a giant rainstorm, they say the beach will be closed tomorrow, and they don't pay the person who's going to be at the gate. We do, even if there's nobody there and it's torrentially raining, we're paying somebody.
They paid somebody last year too, Carrie, which was stupid.
I'm just saying that if it is our money. So if it was your own business, I think you'd look at this. I'd rather give money to a person who needs to use heavy equipment than to a kid who's have his first job and only looks at the garbage, the poop, and stickers.
I agree.
So that's the thing on that. I think it's wrong.
So what is your point, Carrie? You don't want to give them anything? Just drop the guards, or you want to reduce the salary to $6? What do you want to do?
Leave it at the 4,500.
Eliminate the whole 4,500. So there's
No, leave it at the
Yeah.
4,500. Eliminate the additional money that Kristen was asking for. I agree with Carrie. Let them take it out of their fundraiser.
So the issue, guys, if you remember when we had talked about this, and Carrie, I don't think you were here that day. So I'll just recap. What we had talked about, guys, is that we had all agreed that no one really wanted to go up on this one, but that we had consistently been underfunding this. And at the end of the year, we had been making transfers at the end of the year into this line item. So the question was, are we going to underfund this again? Because they're going to continue to pay the staff what they pay the staff to do the work. And then we're going to end up,
Making $15 an
we're
hour.
going to end up approving it later. So we agreed that night. And Carrie, like I said,
I was, Chris, I'm sorry to interrupt. I was there for that one. And I didn't realize that we had then approved to go up to 6,500 or 400, because that meant we're supposed to do the budget and approve or not approve something. giving somebody $15 an hour and we're quibbling over a professional getting $16 an hour is wrong. She asked for 4,500. That's what we should give her. And she should work with that, not take taxpayers' money because she feels that it's right to give a kid $15 an hour. Then, or give them more responsibilities. So Lou's professional people does not have to do certain things. I don't know if they could cut the lawn or do something.
I mean, we talked about it that day too, how we,
Yeah.
you know, ideally you want to set this salary at what the revenue drives for the passes. Because that's what makes fiscal sense, is that if the passes drive X dollars, then that's the top end for the salary. But like I said, we looked at that number too for what they've been driving in income for the last 2 years, and they're only pulling in about 4,800 on passes. So we came back to the conclusion again that night that it was better to fund it. And actually, that's kind of where I wanted to head next, guys, is I want to look at our last overage report. And that's the report that has all our stuff that's over. Lou is still here, yeah.
Chris, wait a minute. When you go to 1920, you see the board approved $4,000. It was adjusted, and then, you know, they requested $4,500. So, I mean, Kristen's way behind the 8 ball then. You've got to look at it that way. She should have figured this out back when this all started a few years ago. She should have sat down with a calculator or a computer and figured this out. You know, I'm gonna have somebody that's gonna sit there for so many hours. Well, this is what it's got to be, instead of keep coming back and asking for $4,500.
Okay,
This is the first year she's asking for this kind of money.
right.
And, you know, she's got her kids that are working there. You know, and they're getting $15 an
All
hour.
right, Adele, one
Wait a
thing,
minute, Tom.
her
Don't
children
start
are
with
not
me,
working
Tom.
there, Adele. Her children are not working there.
Well,
And
that's
two,
funny because I've
this is
checked with
something, if
people
you
and
let
it's
me
their
continue,
kids that are working there.
if you let me continue, this is something the townspeople decided upon. We will be paying the people to be there for a certain number of hours.
That I
The Board of
realize.
Finance, excuse me, the Board of Finance does not determine wages.
Since when?
Board of Finance determines the total budget for a department, and that is it.
That's correct. But, and yes, Tom, I'm going to tell you something. I've done some checking, and it is her children that are working there. You can
Again, you
tell
are
me from
incorrect,
now until
Adele.
next Tuesday, Tom.
Again, Adele, you are incorrect.
Okay, Tom, I'm not going to argue with you because you'll come down on me no matter what. So, you know what? I'll shut my mouth.
Question.
Thank you.
Yeah.
When did the Board of
Don't start with
Finance not approve non-union wages?
The Board of Finance never approves wages for employees. That is the responsibility of
Never was.
the first selectman.
No.
They approve department budgets.
So, excuse me?
Yes.
Okay,
I mean, we can just have a vote on the line item. Let's just move to that. Carrie, what number would you propose?
well, I think the incorrect statement that's made is we approve it by department, we're a departmental budget now?
Yes, you read that to me from the state statutes.
No, that's not what the
That's
state
exactly-
statute said. I'm
that's
sorry, you
exactly
don't
what you read
understand
to
what
me,
the state
Tracy.
statute is. It is a line item budget. And every Board of Finance for 50 years has dealt with a line item budget. It is not a departmental budget.
If you read the state statute again, like you did before, you'll determine that it's a departmental
So
budget.
we're reading it very differently. So I suggest we get a legal opinion.
All right, listen, I'm not, we're this close to the end, guys. We're not gonna bicker. We're just gonna put this right to a vote. So
Well, I think that's detrimental to the Board of Finance to have the
we can ask,
information out there.
And I'm going to agree with
Totally
Tracy and Chris.
incorrect.
You have no right to
And I will
overrule her.
get a
I'm not
legal
overruling
opinion
anybody, Adele.
This week for it.
I'm just stating that we can ask for a legal opinion, but let's talk
We
about the
will
line.
have
item.
a legal opinion on it.
So Carrie, what number do you propose for here?
Well, the different beaches that people that I've spoken to have been anywhere between $8 an hour to, I think it was $12.50 an hour. But those were all very different jobs with very different responsibilities. And they were state parks and private and beaches, towns and state. So
Chris, what's the line item income on that?
The line item income,
We played for 3 years. What's the income?
give me a second,
$4,000.
4,000?
I thought, but, well, again, it's different numbers because
I thought he's got 4,800.
I thought we had 4,800 as reported by Beach and Rec. So what is the correct number on that income?
As far as what? What do you mean correct?
4,000 is what we're shooting on it now. You can look at, hold on, let's pull up the income statement. I'll get the income statement right now. Give me 1 second. I got the last income statement from him is for,
It should be at 3,900 right now, I believe.
they're at 3,900 right now. I got the revenue report.
Yeah, I mean, just pull it up.
Here's the revenue. Hold on 1 minute, I'll share it. Here's the revenue report from 4/21. And you know what the number is?
$22.45.
2245 year-to-date revenue.
So I make a motion that we leave it at the $4,500 and they can't come back for any more money. Just like the library coming back and asking for money, and they always get their teeth kicked in every time.
I believe you open up the note that's written, it shows the exact days and number of hours it's gonna be open. So how you gonna not fund it? You're gonna stop it in August? I mean, it's simple math. I mean, I agree with you guys said before, she should have brought it as math. And she actually did it this year and now you're telling her not to do it. So.
Well, she should have done that a few years ago. That's my
But
point.
I agree with you, Adele, but if you look back again in 2019, 2020, you guys spent $6,600 in that line item.
we didn't know that. We didn't see
It
that.
doesn't matter, but you're not gonna be open on Labor Day?
No,
What are
of
you gonna
course
do?
we're open, but here's the thing. She decided that she was going to pay an entry level job $15 an hour. If we don't do the budget, we don't do payroll, we don't do anything. It's wasting our time. We can just use the computer to put in the mill rate. If we don't discuss this, we were given 4,500. We agreed upon that, even knowing that the last few years that it's been open.
Let's put it to a vote right now. So 4,500. Who's in favor of 4,500?
Aye.
Can you go to what it says on her department request number, not what the BOS approved note is, what is her request? This is what we need to look at.
That's right. She wants $15 an hour.
Yeah, and that's not the point. The point is, how many hours is she covering and what days?
She's
is-
covering.
This is what I wanted to see.
She's covering Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays, and
And the
Mondays,
holidays.
holidays.
Right. But this is the important numbers.
Right.
So 435 hours is the total of what she needs to cover.
Right.
So
So
435 hours. And when we want to pay $4,500, that's $10.34 an hour.
which minimum wage is 12.
Right.
So and actually, I think in August 1st, it goes to 13.
13
So-
on August 1st, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, so if
So
you type
we
in
need to
1350,
minimum finance 56.55. That's the minimum we can finance if minimum wage is going up.
So then that's what we do.
Yeah, that's what we do.
Okay, let's have a vote right now. Who's in favor of setting the line item at 5655? Say aye or raise your hand.
I,
We're fighting a losing battle here.
All right, who's opposed? All right,
People
well, no one's opposed. We'll go with it. There you go. What else you got, Carrie?
So, I saw on the, as you were going through things, two different numbers for generators or batteries or, I'm very confused. We had $38,000 left over for 2 years ago from the school.
Oh, yeah, I'll stop you right there. We'll let Rick fill her in on the generators.
All right, so on the generators, they gave you guys money, you're right, Carrie, 2 years ago, $38,000. Since there was no open charge for it, it was never saved under a CNR. Again, people said there was one made, but honestly, when you go through, if you look at the town audit, it shows it's not there. So it's actually in your total fund balance of the $1,800,000. So that's where your $38,000 is. So that has to come back out of fund balance to fund.
Didn't I make a motion last week to take it out of there so that it was put aside into a separate account? Strictly for that generator for James Morris School?
I mean, again, we're talking, she's asking me where the 38,000 from
Right.
2 years ago.
No, I'm
She's not
sorry.
asking me what we did last
I'm
year.
not asking that. I did think that it was in a special spot, but that's fine. You're explaining to me. This was money. I just want to make sure this is not money that was given to us by the Board of Education. So we could put in a generator in the primary school. It was money given back to us 2 years ago that Chris Leone had extra. That's how much our percentage was. And then it was brought to a town hall meeting that the selectmen wanted to install a generator and turn that into an emergency place to go. And the town voted for that. But now I'm seeing, I saw somewhere $120,000 on one of the lists, and then another $20,000 for another generator. I don't understand what's going on here.
So there's two generators. There's one for the town hall, which is, I believe, about $40,000. And then there's another generator for the school in your town in case there's an emergency that requires people to gather in one spot if we get wiped out for multiple days of no electricity. I mean, you guys probably know better than I do, but that's the two different generators. One to run the town hall, which is a much smaller unit, which I believe is only $40,000 if not mistaken. But the one for the school is close to $100,000.
Okay, again, this is all new. A generator for the town hall is a whole new subject that I'm assuming would have to go to a town hall meeting. This has nothing to do with the money returned to us from the Board of Education. So, I don't understand. We haven't even bought a generator for the school, and that to install that and to put the whole thing together, to have an emergency place for people to go, which that's what the people voted for. Shouldn't we be just doing that? I don't understand why we now need other generators, and where is that money coming from for a new generator for the town hall? And $40,000 for the other generator, well, for $100,000, we only got $38,000 back from the school.
Hey, get that.
So, ¿qué pasa?
Should I help with this at all, or would someone else rather answer it? Chris?
Go ahead, Tom.
Tracy? Well, I'm waiting for the chair. Okay.
Is anybody still here?
Yeah.
Carrie, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear
Can you
you.
hear us?
Now I can hear you.
All right, all right,
Oh,
sorry about
okay,
that.
sorry.
So
Do it again.
the generator, the JMS generator, we got some money back from the school and we put that aside, but it was never assigned. It was in the fund balance. And we want to get it assigned this year, so there's no more confusion about where's the money for the generator. So out of that 120,000, a portion of that, I think almost 90,000, and sorry, I didn't catch Rick's whole response there, but portion of that was from the school, a portion of this is from, was it from LoSiP or was it a grant?
I thought we were just funding the generator.
Well, we're funding it, so now we're putting the line item up there, so now it's not just money sitting around in our fund balance, now we're actually applying it towards the generator.
Right.
So this all stems from, Carrie, like the money that we had talked about that we were looking before was sitting in our fund balance, and last week we had a discussion about our fund balance, how, I have it up on the page, can you see it now?
Yep.
Okay, how our fund balance, we're way outside of our policy, is we have to be between 10 and 14. And we're at a 20 right now. And the reason we got so high from last year is because we weren't spending, because we entered a pandemic, we weren't sure where we were, so we weren't going to take money out of the fund balance until we could see the end of the finish line. And now that we can, we have about $600,000, and I'll go back to the capital where we broke it down. Right here on the side, we have about 630,000 we want to take out to get us back inside that fund balance policy. That's 632,000 roughly. We have 144 going to the transfer station, 155 going to a truck. Both these will have to get approved at a town meeting by the taxpayers. The rest of it, the 333, we're applying towards the budget. And most of that is going into a beefed up capital. And we're beefing up our capital this year so we can take care of some of the capital payments we have to while we have some money. And we can still drop the mill rate. So that's what you're looking at there. And that includes finally that what you're talking about, Carrie, that JMS generator for 120,000. I think what got you confused is that the future capital, and I'll pull that up right now, some future capital plans. On here, you'll see in the future, there's community hall generator, there's docks, there's rec fields, there's Eldridge generator. These are potential future capital plans. No money's been assigned for them. We don't have any money figured for them in the future. They're just kind of wish list items that, may or may not appear on a capital budget that we'll be able to vote on in the future. None
Well,
of this
Chris,
is
then
on
explain
commission.
why Tom has already given Rob McIntosh the contract on the town hall generator.
We don't have any funding for
Well,
it.
there's no funding for it, so I don't know how they're, maybe they got a bid for it. Maybe,
It could be a
And that bid was accepted.
or
That
it
bid
could
was
be,
accepted.
or LoSiP, most likely, it's probably out of our LoSiP fund item, right? But
Well, I think the James Morris School generator is a hell of a lot more important, way more important than one for the town hall.
exactly, and that's why we have it in the capital plan. We all agreed that it'd be a good shelter location, and we had some money that we had talked about before, and we don't want to sit here another year and say, hey, where was that money we had talked about for the generator? That's why it's in our capital plan, and that's why we were moving forward with it.
Well, good, because that's my thing. It has to be taken out of there.
Right.
Okay, so yes, I was very confused, but I also, this 100, I thought $38,000 for a school generator was really cheap, but I wasn't going to say anything. And for installing $120,000 sounds more like it, but was that ever brought up anywhere? I mean, that's a lot of money that the,
Well, yeah, we'll have a town meeting on our budget.
I
Yeah,
see.
we did have a town meeting on it.
We
You're
had
right,
a
yeah.
town meeting on the money. And the town said, yes, we want to put a generator in James Morris School. That's where that 38,000 was allocated for. Now we've just decided to do it and get it done. So I don't think you'll have it, when the town decided to put that money towards a generator, I don't think they'll undecide.
This started when I was in office.
I-
Generator for James.
Right, it's been a popular thing for a very long time. I don't see
But
it.
now we can do it.
Right, we can do it, and we already have the town. making
I
$608,000.
understand. I had never heard this number, 120,000.
Well,
And
I'm
that's-
just, I
that's
don't mean to interrupt you, Carrie, but I lived on a large estate that my husband built in Sherman, okay, for 32 years. There was a generator there that actually was out of a Ford car that ran this entire estate when the power went out. And that generator 25 years ago, I'm gonna say, was like $75,000. I mean, it took an entire room off the end of a built-in indoor pool, but that generator functioned the entire house should the power go out. So, I mean, and I'm
But
going
now-
back 25 years.
But now this 120,000 includes the construction of it, having the gas that would generate, that would take care of it, all of this kind of stuff, yes?
Yeah, it's for the entire project. Yep.
The whole project, okay.
What
Right.
else, Carrie?
Okay, now, is Rick still there?
Yep, I'm still here.
Okay, Rick, I unfortunately wasn't able to be at the meeting with Chris Leone, and I do not understand this increase. And you talked 3 weeks ago about that we got a credit. I just want to make it really clear that we did a vote. It was 6-0. Chris Leone was asked to give us 3 plans, and we were to choose which plan we wanted. And we chose to stay with what we had in case we're going to take the risk if there was an increase in students. Chris Leone said that everybody was staying exactly the same except for Goshen. And now our budget shows over $100,000 more. And you told us 3 weeks ago.
So can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I can, but Carrie
can
just
hear
cut
you.
off. Carrie just
Yeah.
cut off there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Chris, if you could just go back to the education page
Okay.
and hopefully Carrie, can you hear me?
It's not this one. Hold on.
Now I can hear you. I went,
Okay, so I think, I already knew the question, so I know what you're saying. So what happened was, prior to me coming here, before your last budget was finalized, Chris Leone had money that he could give back to each town, either throughout the year as a credit. You could either take it out of your budget last year. So if you look at last year's education budget, so it's 54, if you look at column E, it was 5417. The real number you guys would have paid was 55,678. But what happened was, before the year started, he had money to give back to you guys. So the real cost last year would have been 5578. So what happened was, during the budget process, he told you guys, if you want to take it out of your budget now, which helped lower the mill rate, you could take your $120 some odd thousand now. And I guess you guys voted to say, yes, since we know the money's there, we shouldn't overtax somebody on money that we already know is good news. So you took it out of last year's budget. The correct number on that line item last year would have been 5578 without that money coming back to you guys. So when he says he kept it even, he's actually speaking the truth. It's just that this year he doesn't have money to give back to you to lower it again for you. So you're not really you're going up.
Wait, Rick, he gave us back $38,000.
No, that's 2 years ago. 38,000 was 2 years ago, and that had not, I don't believe that, it might have been the same type of thing, but that was during the budget, that was during the time of the year. This was before this year started.
I do not remember ever him saying you can take a credit.
Well, I don't
I-
think he actually spoke to you guys. I believe Tom or, I mean, Chris, you guys should know, right? You guys must have seen the change in the budget of the good news, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so, I mean, so you guys know that it's really staying flat other than that credit he gave you guys. Or not credit, but whatever, he gave back the money that was the overages. That will help you fund last year's budget.
Yeah, we're
Carrie,
we're
did you-
relatively flat.
Yeah,
Very
I mean, I think we're $212 difference.
You want me
Yes,
to bring, I got the school budget. You want me to pull up the school budget?
Carrie, you have this, it explains it right here.
Yeah,
We adjusted it.
okay, hold on, I get it, Christie.
I have that. I have that.
Yeah. so it's-
Yeah, I have that whole thing. I'm not as together as the rest of you guys are on this stuff, but we never said, well, I don't remember ever saying, okay, we'll take money that we're gonna have to give back.
No, you don't have to
Didn't
give,
it back, Karen.
you didn't have to give it back.
We
It was a
just
credit.
dropped it.
We're not giving
We're
it
not
back,
giving
we're
it
just
back.
right sizing. We're right sizing for what it should have been.
He's just not giving us a gift this year. We got a
Right.
$150,000 gift. We're not paying it back. It's the same budget, except for last year, they gave us $150,000 back.
Right, but then why, if we don't have any more children, we have minus.
They're not giving us $150 back. 150,000. The
But
budget's the same. Last year, Chris Leone said, hey, guys, we're gonna give you $150,000 back off of the budget. We took it and put it in the beginning of the year and took that savings. That he's not giving us another $150,000 gift. They gave us a gift last year. They're not doing it again this year. Same budget. It's like, it's not up. It's the same thing.
Here's our town assessment, Carrie. I opened it up right here. Can you see it?
yeah,
It shows we're down $203 from last year's
Yep.
total assessment. But
Yep.
if you look at this figure here, though, 5.578 million,
Yep.
right? And now I'm gonna get us back over to the budget. Give me just a second. Okay, see 5.578, but we have here 5.4. So I think you were running off this figure and it's
Yes.
wrong.
yes.
And
That was a minus the 150,000. Add 150,000 to that figure.
See if I take
I
this.
understand. That's
And
why I'm gonna have to look this over. I don't understand how, if he's giving it back to us because he didn't spend it, why is, if
That was
he-
last year. Last year, it's done.
so every other town, like Warren, they didn't give them anything back. It's no
Yes, he
different.
did.
number.
Yes, he did. Every town
Yeah,
had a budget. We
but
got money back from
But-
it. It's like,
we were told we got back, and this is where,
We did.
please tell me the difference between the $38,000 and the $20,000 and then $150,000. That's a really big difference.
Oh, yeah, Carrie, the difference was the first year we got 38,000 back because they had a surplus, right? So as a result of the surplus, they give the money back to the town. The second year, we had 150,000 less because they weren't paying the buses because of COVID. They started doing the homeschooling. That's why, and they had a lot of services, food services, other stuff like that that they didn't have to do because everyone was schooling from home. So that's why they gave the 150 back when the COVID started last year. That's the big difference.
Oh.
Right? The year before was a surplus. They just underspent. This year or last year wasn't a surplus. It was the start of COVID, right? Okay, but in actuality, like, you know, there are 200, we're paying $203 less this year than we did last year. So that's a huge victory. And I know you missed the meeting, Chris was here, but I mean, he had, and you should watch the recording. It was fantastic. The guy, He locked in oil.
Unbelievable,
I mean,
unbelievable.
I mean, he had the foresight to lock in oil when it was the lowest it's been in 10 years, right? I mean, he's got the solar panels working now. We're saving on electricity. He was talking about combining bus routes for Litchfield and Wamogo. He's got tons of ideas moving forward on how he's going to be able to level the budget. He kept the health insurance rate the same by growing the pool. I mean, you should watch the video. It was great. The guy
No,
was really impressive.
Chris, I'm not saying, I adore the guy. I think he's amazing. I'm not saying, I wasn't understanding what happened to our budget. That was my questioning. I wasn't questioning him.
Okay.
Can I
Well, so-
intervene for just 1 second? Is Christine still sitting in on this meeting?
Yeah, she's here.
Okay. I would like to back out only because I have a concussion. I have a head full of stitches and I've got a splitting headache. So I would really like to be able to back out of this meeting.
All
So
right.
that, can Christine take my place, please?
Of course. So 8:15,
Yeah.
8:15,
Feel
Adele
better.
is removed
Thank you.
and Christine is seated.
Thank you, guys. Have a good night.
Feel better.
Yep,
Bye.
thanks.
What else do we need to go through?
You need a motion to see Christine?
No,
No?
no, she's not an alternate.
Okay.
Just note that Adele left. the
Yeah,
meeting.
noted. Yep. All right, Carrie, what else do you have for questions?
I have one more and you're all gonna get pissed because I'm gonna bring this up again. I'm sorry.
Go ahead. What do you got?
That the Greenwood Foundation thing. This is kind of getting into like the $15. Because there's, that was the town of Kent decided to put in rehab and different kinds of things, and they voted on it and they dealt with it. Like our town are now, they're discussing the having affordable housing. And with affordable housing, if it goes through, comes differences in the value of our properties and also the amount of drug and alcohol situations. And we could be, if we put this in, we could be in the same position. We need to have something in our town. So I do not, this is completely dealt with.
And she froze up.
Carrie, you froze, but I believe we didn't have a vote. We had an informal vote on this and we all agreed not to fund at 5,000, to fund it at 2,500, give a little extra this year because it's been tougher for nonprofits. Obviously raising money during COVID has not been an easy task when you can't have fundraisers. So we can do another vote or make an official vote on this and I'll put it in the meeting minutes so we can settle on the 2,500.
So are we gonna revote for?
I don't think it's a revote and I don't know.
I was here a few weeks ago, we voted, I
Yeah.
spoke to the fact that those people, Greenwood, right?
Mhm.
To provide us a big service,
Mhm.
and I was in favor of it, and I thought we voted in favor of it.
We had definitely agreed on it. I don't know if we put it to a formal vote, Phil, but we definitely agreed to go with 2,500 versus 5,000. All right, I think we lost Carrie altogether.
Phil, if you want to make an agreement or bring it back to the table to put more money in it?
You want a formal
Yeah, I
vote?
would-
I know we haven't made formal
I know
votes on
the
anything.
work that they
Okay.
do, and what she's talking about is Elon's away, take advantage of what we already have in place and contribute to it.
All right, I'm making a note. We lost Carrie at 8:18.
Okay.
We can,
Or do you want to speak to it then? I mean,
Yeah.
I can go anyway with it, me personally. So if you want to speak to it, go ahead and bring it to the floor.
hold on, Carrie's coming back and let's wait for her. Carrie, are you back? She's back. Carrie, what did you hear last? You're muted. You have to unmute, Carrie.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Carrie, you gotta unmute. There you go.
Okay. So it's when our our town decided we were going to continue to fund the weeding of the lake, like Bantam, and Litchfield decided to go out and White Memorial only pays 13.5, and we're not even getting the poison on our beach that we're paying for. So once we start giving money, I don't see why we're taking the town people's money, and our mill rate is high. It's still very high, comparable to small towns. I just don't think we should be doing this because we might need it for us.
Hey, Chris, can I say something?
Yeah, go ahead.
I mean, I'd be more than happy to have the executive director of Greenwoods Foundation come in and talk to the Board of Finance, explain the situation that opioid abuse in Northwest Corner is at a huge level right now. 1 a day overdoses. We just had one just the other day right here in East Morris, overdose in the parking lot at Extra Mart. I would be more than happy to have them come and explain the need and the services they provide to residents of Morris, not people outside of our town, but people of Morris, and how important this service is for the people.
Well, guys, let's just put it to a vote. No offense, Tom, but we're going to finalize this budget tonight, guys, and push it to a town meeting because we are just that close, and we're not going to drag it on the difference between 2,500 and 5,000. So let's have a formal vote on this right now.
But I'd just like to say.
Oh, go ahead, Phil.
This is a very important issue. And I would hope that we would vote positively on it, because you never know who is gonna help, who they're gonna help. That's all I got to say. And I've been in office a long time, worked with them a long time, and I have a lot of respect for those people that help our towns and our people.
Okay, so let's have a formal vote. Who wants to, and I think we would vote this as, do we want to keep that line item at the 2,500, or do we want to increase it to 5,000? We'll go one at a time, starting with you, Phil.
Well, if that's what they ask for, I would give it to them.
So Phil wants to increase. Carrie?
I definitely don't want to go higher than 2,500.
Carrie will stay at 2,500. Christine?
2,500.
2,500. Tracy's passing. Tracy's passing. David?
2,500.
2,500. I'm in favor of 2,500 as well. So that would be it. So we're going to keep it at the 2,500 and move forward. Carrie, do you have anything else? And I'm going to make a note here that we voted on that.
It was an informal poll.
In the formal.
I have one more question
You
and
know, I'm just going to put in the meeting minutes.
Yeah,
Okay,
just put poll members.
hold numbers. Go ahead, Carrie.
I'm really confused about the health insurance. And
Okay,
with,
maybe I can clear it up. Let me get to that line item.
okay,
And I'll try to give you a really simple explanation, okay? And health insurance is under community home,
General government,
general government.
should be general government. Oh, yeah, by law.
Okay, Carrie, go ahead.
okay.
Why don't you just explain it, Chris?
Well, I mean, so everyone understands what a deductible is. Health insurance nowadays also has an out-of-pocket maximum. And that's also what copays you have to hit after your deductible to reach your out-of-pocket limit, in which case your insurance picks up all expenses, no exceptions, including copays, right? On the plan we have now, we have an agreement with the union for deductible savings plan or deductible share account. What that means is the town is responsible for a portion of the deductibles for all the members. When we switch plans from our current plan to the school plan, my assumption, and this is justified by the numbers, is that we increase, some of those deductibles have increased, or some of their out-of-pocket maximum have increased for certain line items in that, inside of your health insurance plan. So whether that be urgent care visits or hospital visits or regular doctor's visits or specialist visits, right? As a result of that, our line item has increased because we have to put more in to cover those deductibles and out-of-pocket maximums versus where we were last year with the lower deductibles, but we weren't on the group plan. So now our premium's going to stay level, but we have to add a little extra in. Now, Chris Leone had mentioned that he is very confident that he's going to be able to keep this plan level next year, in which case this is a hell or high water we're looking at for our health insurance plan, and we should be able to keep at or around this figure for next year going forward.
So there's my, I don't understand, because now you've explained it to me. And now I understand why it's going up when why are we paying for our employee? Why does the town have to pay for the town employees that have an extraordinary plan?
Because the union contract, when it switched, right? So the prior union contract was they had to have low deductibles. Now the new union contract, we got higher deductibles negotiated in, which generally saves premium, right? Means it brings down the price of the plan,
Of course.
but the plan switched over to the school plan now, right? And so the
And
higher
why-
deductibles in
so
the school
the
plan.
union is telling us that we went on to a new plan that is better for the entire town, and now we have to pay
Yes,
the employees difference
Yes.
because we're on a better plan that costs us less money, and so we have to pay for the
Well,
deduct.
I see. I think this is where you're getting tied up here, Carrie. That figure is hell or high water. So that is what you're looking at, a worst case scenario number right there, the 198. If we have a good year and our members and our portion of the plan don't have major surgeries or health concerns or health testing and issues and big time expenses, we have opportunity to come in way under that figure. You know, we're just looking at a budgeted figure that, hey, we're not going to exceed this number on health insurance this year.
But so let's say somebody is very sick and with their old plan, which we were schmucks to be paying for, because now this is a better plan and cheaper plan, we're covering the hospitalization because it's not as good of a plan as the last plan for the staff? Is that what I'm understanding?
Yeah, I mean, we don't really have an option here, Carrie. It's an unfunded mandate with the health insurance on the union contract that's not due to be negotiated, I think, until the end of next year. So it's not, you know, listen, that no one likes paying more health insurance. And unfortunately, in the life we live now, as long as the government's involved in health insurance, we will be paying everyone. And this is anyone listening and everyone here tonight will be paying more next year than you did last year for health insurance, and get used to it. That's the new norm. That's just the world we're living in now. And I know it's frustrating to have these high premiums and then still have deductibles and then still have copays and then still have out-of-pocket maximums, all for the privilege of having health insurance. But that's just the cyclical world we're living in right now.
But I'm looking at it that we also pay $15,000 to a lawyer, and now it doesn't, because they got a better deal. It was better deal before, and we were paying more of their health insurance. So now that we're on a cheaper plan, we've got to pay the difference.
this is nice.
Is that what you're telling me? I just want to make sure.
Yeah, exactly. What we're telling you is that there's nothing we can do. This is as good as it's going to get. I don't even know why we're still debating it, because we're paying that number, hell or high water, you know, and the only way we're going to pay less is if, you know, we have a good year and everyone's healthy and they don't hit their deductibles.
There you go. Very careful.
Right.
Okay,
All right. Any other questions?
nope.
Okay, well, let's get to, I think we just,
Get your final number and promotion.
Yeah, let's take a look at our final figure.
Did we actually come up with the summer salary for
Seasonal workers?
the seasonal guy? Did we ever decide on that?
Let's double check. I think we just penciled it in to see what it does to the figure. You want to have a vote on it? You want to make it official?
Yeah.
Okay,
All the members.
let's poll the members here. So, I guess, do we fund it or not fund it? So, who's in favor of funding it?
I'm in favor of funding the $6,400.
Me
Okay.
too, with Karen.
Carrie said you too.
Yeah,
Phil?
Yes.
Yes.
Hey, Chris?
Christine? No.
Christine?
Christine's no.
No. All right,
I'm a no as well.
all right, so you have what?
3-2.
3, 2?
Are you gonna vote or you're not voting? Okay, not voting. So it looks like it's gonna stay.
It's not the time.
You know, the comments that were put out there was that there seems to be this impression that not everyone in that department is working as hard as they could. And I really hate to say things like that, but that's exactly what 95% of the people I spoke to said to me. So they shouldn't need extra help if there was a little more effort by some of the current.
Well, yeah,
Taxpayers
let's-
tell us their feelings.
Yeah, taxpayers
Can I
will weigh in,
revote?
guys. And
can I
Please
revote?
weigh in.
Can I vote no?
no, you've already voted.
Oh,
Yes, you can vote
And,
no.
and guys, listen, the taxpayers are gonna weigh in on this at our hearing,
So
you
what
know?
do we have now for,
And
polling?
they're gonna weigh in on this. Or
Wait, wait.
let's look at the bright side. We're dropping the mill rate, okay? And here's another thing you can think of. This is a non-union position. If it turns out at the end of the year, next year, when we're doing this budget, that we're not getting, the kind of work that we were expecting for that position, there's
Get rid of
nothing
it.
saying we gotta keep it in the budget for next year.
That's what we're doing.
I was a no on it.
Are you changing your mind?
I'm not changing my mind. I'm just saying,
Okay, so what's the count? Or do you?
Well, if you want to change your vote.
right, you are
Because you did
flip
an
flopping on it.
informal poll. That's why I said don't do motions, but you do an informal poll.
Well, then I would
Doesn't matter.
change
Go
to yes.
forward.
If people wear this. Let's
Go forward.
move it. Yeah,
Doesn't matter.
because it doesn't impact the
Fine.
budget, guys.
Move on.
Okay.
That's why you go to a formal vote.
We had a lot of waffling. Anyways,
Why you don't-
this is what we're looking at for figures, guys. We would be looking at a public meeting if we were to propose this budget. The third week of May, that's the 20th of May. Does anyone have any conflicts with that date?
Best date, but okay.
What day is it?
It's
The
a
what?
Thursday, Phil. The 20th of May, it's a Thursday.
May 20th?
May 20th.
I don't know what's happening in my future, so
We
maybe.
have to have a public hearing.
We have to have a public hearing.
It has to be,
Let the town, it's got to be noticed and it's going to be in person. And by the way, before we're done with this meeting, we need to decide our own schedule moving forward, if we're going to stay hybrid or move to in person.
well, do you want to have the public hearing in person?
I do want to have the public hearing in person because I got to tell you, it would be probably just be a nightmare trying to do it with Zoom and trying to present it. Because I'll put a presentation together and I'll present the budget, but you can imagine, how hard that's going to be. So
It's May 20th. Do you have a final figure for the budget?
yeah, our final figure is $9,104,916.
Okay.
I'm gonna jog through every single one, just put a second set of eyes on it, make sure we have all our line items filled in. And then we can make the motion to send this to a public hearing.
We just did that.
No, I'm running through again. I just want to make sure we're not missing something. Yeah, I just want to double check it. Okay. So I'll make the motion. I'll make the motion to approve the 2021 budget of $9,104,916.
21-22 budget.
Excuse me, 21-22 budget. And to hold the public hearing on May 20th at 7 PM at the community hall in Morris.
There a second?
I second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Carrie, were you opposed there or abstained?
Yeah, I'm abstaining. You sorry. Yeah.
Do I want to know what?
I think we should have a conversation. Carrie, is this a budget you're not going to vote for?
I have a lot of things I got to look over. So
All right, let the record reflect the Carrie abstained.
Carrie has abstained. Okay.
Okay.
Let's, like I said, a new business we're going to discuss, meetings moving forward. Is everybody comfortable to go back to in-person meetings?
I got more sense.
Does everyone have their COVID shots and they're comfortable meeting at the town hall again?
I think we should leave them hybrid
Oh,
because there's
Why?
people that travel.
I mean, I gotta say, I like the hybrid style, guys, but you guys aren't doing the setup for this, right? And it's like, it takes up about an hour, hour and a half a week, maybe longer if I have to put the minutes together. I gotta get all the docs, I gotta send it to everybody, send it to the town clerk. When the meeting's over, I gotta sometimes convert the video and send that out. And then follow up with the town clerk, make sure she has everything. I'm doing an awful lot of work behind the scenes that all goes away when we go back to in person. So granted, once we get through the budget hearing, we should pass the budget pretty quickly and probably not have too many more meetings where I might be okay with a hybrid. We really need to get back to the in-person or get a clerk.
Okay.
Unless somebody else wants to do the setup and handle the Zoom and do all the prep, in which case, go for it.
are you at least getting $15 minimum wage?
I'm not getting any minimum wage and I'm,
45 is I could say.
all I get is a whole lot of flack from everybody. So from family to the town hall to board members to you name it. So
Put in the budget.
put what in the budget?
If you want a full-time clerk.
Yeah, full-time clerk. I mean, we need to fill a position if we're going to continue to go mobile. And I do like the idea of meeting, mobile, because I think it is great for everybody and it's convenient. And I mean, who doesn't like meeting in their living room versus having to come to the town hall? But we need to get back to some sort of normalcy and we can't just cling on to what we're doing forever, So I think the hybrid is a good format and we can switch to that, to allow some members if it's a minority, but it can't be the
You can always
majority.
call in.
Well, that's what I mean.
By phone. If you're a member and you're traveling or you're not here, we have had members call in and do it by phone. So, I mean, it's not, it's not always an all or nothing, but Chris is right. It's a ton of work. It's a lot of work when you're not adding the rooms that you teach it.
Well, that's the thing is we could do a call in. So anyone that doesn't attend or can't make it, they could call into the meeting, but
Right.
without the Zoom, avenue of it. And we can make sure that one person, if they know they're not going to make it, I can make sure to send them the documents. And that's a whole lot easier than having to have all the documents prepped and ready to go, 48 hours in advance into the town clerk. You know what I mean? So we could always do that. You could always attend via phone and I can get you the paperwork. But like I said, the work entailed with this is a lot more. So I'd like to get back in person. If everyone else is okay with that, let's start back with in person, starting on the budget hearing, and we can move from there. Is everyone in agreement there?
Yes.
I just got to, I might not be able to attend in person. I still don't know. So I agree with everything that you're saying. And if I can attend, I will do it by phone.
Carrie, if you can't attend, you can call in, Carrie, and I'll get you the budget material in advance or whatever we're discussing in advance, you'll have it.
That's great. Thank you.
Perfect. Let me just open up our agenda too and see if there's anything else we're missing.
You need approval to send the truck to, the selectmen for that.
Oh, yeah, we do need a motion and approval to send the truck to town meeting.
For under 55, right?
155,000
The purchase of a what?
for the purchase of a replacement vehicle. Right. I mean, it's a 2021 International, or was it a Mack? Lou, give us the specs on that truck,
Just the name.
the name, 2021, what, Mack?
It's new one will be, it's gotta go to the equipment committee yet, but I think it will be a Mack.
Okay.
Just say a replacement, truck, and don't you have to send to the Board of Selectmen the full budget,
Yeah,
That's the
full,
motion I
yeah.
the full
talked about.
budget price?
Yeah, we're gonna make a recommendation right now. We just wanted to see what we're gonna put in there. But I'll make the recommendation to send to the Board of Selectmen for a town meeting for $155,000 one-time transfer out of fund balance for the replacement vehicle for the 2001 International. Phil seconds.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
There you go.
Abstained?
You're good. Unanimous.
We lost Carrie.
No, I'm here.
Carrie, did you abstain from that or vote
No,
for it?
I said aye. I said aye.
Christine, how about you?
Yeah.
Yes, okay. Unanimous. Okay.
Unanimous. Okay.
Okay.
How, do we have to put in the thing for $120,000 for installing the generator?
That's on the
That's on
capital
the
that we already
capital.
approved. Yeah, that we just agreed for the budget to send
Right.
to. Yeah. Oh, that's not-
You're into minutes.
Yeah, I'm working on, hold on, trying to get them open. Can you see the minutes? Can you see them?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. There was something, oh yeah, we have to add Michael's last name.
Well, that, T and
There you go.
Okay.
All right, is there a motion to approve the minutes as submitted?
I make a motion that we approve the minutes as submitted.
Is there a second?
Aye. Carrie.
Favor? There's Christine.
Aye.
All right, motion carried unanimous.
Perfect. Any other business we want to discuss tonight? Okay. We have
Do we have
10 people on the
public
call, so
comment?
if we have public comment, feel free to unmute yourself.
Is there public commenting?
We'll give it 10 seconds. Okay, no public comment. Do I have a motion to adjourn? Phil? A second?
Carrie,
I heard,
We adjourned at 8:41.
Carrie, all in favor?
Aye.
aye.
Unanimous, all right, 8:41. All right, guys, we'll see you, not next week or the week after, probably 2 weeks from now, the week before the hearing, and we'll just run through the presentation I put together, and we'll go from there.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Have a great weekend.
Take care.